G'day and welcome to the Guy Who Sews channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been teasing everyone for several days now about my sit and chat with a mystery guest. Well, the mystery is about to be revealed, so let's see who it is, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I have Sean from The Guy Who Sews today, and we're just doing a real quick checkup and, check in with our channels to see how we're doing. Hi, Sean. How's it going for you?
G'day, Brenda. Thank you so much for having me on. I am doing well. It's starting to warm up here in Virginia. I think winter's almost behind us, we hope. So I'm not sure how it is out there in Alberta, but yeah, it looks like we might be starting to get some warmer weather.
Actually, Les and I, my husband and I, are in Arizona for this winter. This is the first time we've come since the pandemic. And we were coming before quite often, but yeah, this is so we've been taping and being from Arizona, but we're keeping track of what's going on in Alberta for sure. Alberta could have quite the nasty March ahead, but let's hope they get a lot more snow because they haven't gotten a lot of snow yet this winter. So
Yes.
yes, yes, that's good. They're I guess they're expecting wildfires, lots of wildfires in Alberta this year because of the lack of snow, but we'll keep our fingers crossed that that doesn't happen.
That's all we can do.
Yes. Yeah. So, Sean, what's the quilt behind you? That quilt that you've got just, it's got a little ribbon off the side of it, green ribbon.
Yes.
What do you want to tell
Yes,
me
it
what that one's about?
absolutely. That was a what they call a doll quilt. It's supposed to be 25 or 25 inches or below, and I think it's like 24 by 24. And I entered it in the State Fair of Virginia, and I picked up a highly commended ribbon on that. And the competition in that is getting more and more intense each year. So yeah, I had to put my best work into it, and I'm really, really proud of it. I actually put the quilt top together in maybe an hour, hour and a half. It's just a basic star. It is nothing fancy. And I kind of just made it and set it to the side. And I never intended it to be a show quilt. But it was like 4 or 5 weeks before the submissions had to be in. I realized I had nothing. I was like, okay, well, it's this or nothing. Let's quilt it to death, throw it in and see what happens. And yeah, got a
Yeah,
nice
that's
holly.
beautiful. It's kind of a negative of each other. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's basically a very dark gray background fabric along with some Australian Aboriginal designed prints on the front with the colors. And
Lovely.
I just, it turned out so beautifully.
Yeah, lovely. But the quilt behind me is the cat quilt, of course. It's a scrappy cat quilt that I made for my hubby. And him and the cat cuddle up every night with it. But my favorite cat is the one with the VW van. I don't
Oh,
know.
very
It's just,
cool.
yeah, it's just, I had a little piece of scrap. I didn't have a lot, and I had enough to make a cat. So we made a cat. So that was what we're behind me. I'm going to put that one out in a couple of different sizes. Because are you getting requests for different sizing for like on your channel? Like when you show them a block, I mean, I tend to like work small because lots of times that's what my scraps are, but I'm getting more requests, make bigger blocks because their hands are ladies are having problems with their hands or whatever with arthritis and that. Are you
Well, I haven't, I'm only just starting to dabble myself into pattern writing. I'm very much in the infancy of that part there. But yes, like, so for me personally, no, they haven't because I tend to use a lot of patterns that are written by professional companies
yeah,
like Elizabeth Hartman, Art East, and they're all tiny. So if you don't like tiny, um, it's not for you.
yeah.
But yeah, I am hearing around the industry, just like people like yourself and other content creators, people are asking for different sizes. So I think it's good that if you can write it for different sizes, to definitely go ahead and do so.
Yeah, and this cat one too is just cute and simple and fast. Like
It's
just
fun, yeah,
fast.
especially if you love
Yeah.
cats. One of
Oh
my
yeah.
exchange students loves cats. I mean, he would probably love that pet. I might have to make something for him before he goes home in June.
Well, yeah, wait, if you want to wait till I write the pattern out, then then you can send that one out to him because this one is simple, simple, simple.
Yeah.
So what things are coming up on your channel? Like what kind of things are you doing, thinking about for the future of your channel?
Really, for me, I make what I like. That's always been the philosophy of my channel is if I see a pattern out there that I like, I'll buy the pattern, or if it's a free pattern, even better. And then I'll dig through I like to shop my own stash. A lot of my patterns recently have been from my own stash. To put behind me, we talked about was all from stash, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes I had to buy some background or backing fabric, but everything else I try to do from stash. So I don't think I don't really have a set schedule for the next, months, 3 months, 6 months. I have ideas in my head, but I always like to keep things open just in case something new comes along. But to answer that question in more detail, I am working on the Elizabeth Hartman pattern called the produce section, which is a bunch of different fruits. And I don't think I have one here with me. I am finishing up her panda pattern, which is this one here.
Her
I've
stuff
done
is
that.
so cute. Oh,
Yeah, it's such a fun
darling.
pattern. And then I'm also working on, oh, hang on, the produce section. I do have a part here. Here we go. That's the banana. Yeah. So just a bunch of little blocks. It's almost like a sampler because it's like
Yeah.
16 different blocks. I'm also doing a pattern by Art East, the Alice in Wonderland themed one. And this
Oh
one is,
my.
yeah, see,
Darling. Oh my.
everything's so, yeah, small pieces. If you don't like small pieces, you're not going to like my patterns. So I'm working on that. I also have these construction vehicles that I found on Etsy. And I'm also working on Wizard of Oz, but I don't have a example close by to show you, unfortunately. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But next week I might find a pattern that I have to download and make straight away. So
So I write my ideas down. I have a box like, like 10 by 10 by, so high of ideas, but I only took my idea book with me and I write my ideas down and I try and, but I also
mhm.
do a lot of viewer requests, right? Because, if your viewers aren't happy with what you're putting out, well, you gotta, okay, this is what, this is another one. This is, something
Oh,
bigger.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to listen to your viewers. Some of the best ideas I've had, some of the best things on the channel have been ideas from the viewers. I encourage my viewers to send me an email, send me a
oh, yeah,
message,
yes, yes.
and that sort of thing there. I might not be able to do it right away, and it may not be a good fit for my channel
Yeah.
immediately, or it might not be something I do for 12 months, but I write them all down. I keep mine on Google Docs, so that way I can pull it up when I'm at work, when I'm at home, when I'm
Yeah.
running around. If I think of something, I don't have to have a book with me. I can just open my phone, go to the app, write it down, and bang, it's there. So I'm using technology because it works for me. But
Yeah.
the ideas book works well for you. So you do you, whatever works best
Yeah.
for you.
I mean, I grew up with, pen and paper kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, putting stuff into the computer, yeah, I struggle with that sometimes, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hey, you're still doing that collaboration with, is Cotton Cuts, right? You're still,
Hmm.
yes. And how is that work? How is that? Is that coming along for you? Have you got something to show us?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm actually working on two different puzzle mystery quilts at the moment. The first one just started last month in February, and then the one that started, they do a spring and a fall.
Yeah.
The fall one is finishing up is it the end of April? I can't keep track. I've got it written down on my Google Calendar. Um, but this is just an example of one of the blocks that I've
Oh,
made,
very pretty. I
and it
love
all
the
comes.
colors. Yeah.
Oh, I do too. I gravitate towards the boutiques. They have a bunch of different colorways to choose from. But I've always done boutiques with mine. So that's one of them. This is the new one that started last, it's
Oh,
probably the same
lovely.
block.
Very lovely.
Yeah. And then the other one I'm currently working on, the fall one, is I'm doing it all in red, white, and blue.
Oh, great. Well, that's
Yeah,
cool.
this one's
Yeah.
turned out really, really beautifully as well. So I've got those going on as well. I am an ambassador for them, so they provide me the kits, and then I also what I do in exchange is I showcase the clues on my social media channel, which is primarily YouTube. I sew some of them live on a Saturday morning, and
Oh,
then I also do a time lapse once a month, and I'm a little bit behind on that, but don't tell anybody, okay?
yeah, I
Um,
know. I know. I'm like, I look around here, I just, I don't even know where to start. Yeah, I'm working, well, right now I'm working with a collaboration and the word is out on this already. Cause I mean, we had the last, Zoom sew date and, they showed up and hi, this kind of thing. And we're working on a community round robin. And there's, Kelly from Bits and Pieces Quilting and Oh no, Michelle from Bits and Pieces Quilting, Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises, and Future Cat from New Zealand, and myself. We're all going to do round robin. So we've all got our blocks submitted. Now we've got to start doing the rounds. You know how you do a round robin.
Yes.
We're not mailing it to each other because Michelle's in Australia right now, and Future Cat's in New Zealand, and I'm in the US and Kelly's in BC. It could get really costly very quickly for us. So we decided, okay, we'll work on our own blocks and just all out of our scraps, all out, just play out of our scraps and have a good time. And I'm very excited when was starting to work on some of the blocks, like my block, and then Future Cat's block. I'm working currently on Kelly's block and Michelle's block. Well, we're all blaming Future Cat for the fussy cutting that we've had to do, and those blocks are coming out adorable. And I'm just like, so I'm kind of excited about that. But I don't know if I can show anything on there until we actually start because
Yeah.
we're still in the planning stage. So it's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun getting to know those three though. It's been awesome.
Yeah, those sort of events are always fun. And yeah, I forgot all about it till you mentioned it, but I'm actually in something very similar with so Becca and a bunch of others. And I've actually done my block, I've done the video, so I can show mine. I
Oh, that's
did,
sweet.
it's supposed to be 10 by 50, I think it was. And so I did a bunch of Australian animals. It's all applique.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
that's what I did with mine. So yeah, those round robin things are fun. So I'm really excited to see what you and Kelly and the other two ladies, because I know Kelly pretty well, but I'm not familiar with the other two ladies. I'll have to check out their channels
Yeah.
when I get a chance. But I'm excited to see what you guys get up to.
Oh yeah, because it's like Future Cat has put out their first border, and their first border goes around my block, and it's just
Okay.
like, oh wow, like I was really quite impressed with that. So I was just like, oh yeah, this is going to be a really fun solo along, right? Where
Yeah.
we've got like every block there's four of us, we each have to make blocks, and then there's two borders around each block. And they say you can either make three of each block or four of each block. I'm making four of each block because I want a big quilt, right? So
Right.
yeah, it'll be fun, but it'll be good. It'll be a fun solo long. Um, so when a viewer comes to your channel, what do you do and what should they expect when they come to your channel? Because that's always too they sometimes when I give shout outs, it's like, okay, I give the shout out because I've seen a glimpse of, fun and mayhem and, giggling and all that, it's fun and they're very
Right.
talented. But like, what are they expecting when they come see you on your channel? What
I
should
think
they do?
this is a great question and one I always like to ask people myself because yeah, you see a glimpse of a channel and you're like, okay, what are they all about?
Yeah.
Some people have a trailer, which I did for a while, but I need to redo mine. But basically, mine is Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, or early if you're out in the West. I
Yeah.
have a live, and I usually have a guest join me, and we sit and chat, and sometimes we get a bit of sewing done. I also have a podcast on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, or if you want to sleep in and watch it later, you're more than welcome to.
Uh,
And that is just basically a recap of what I've made during the week. You'll get to see what I'm working on, what
yeah.
I've completed, all the news and events and everything else. It's kind of like just a catch up. You kind of get to
Yeah.
see what I've done during the week. And then during the week, it's kind of, I have different things. Sometimes I get content out, sometimes I don't because I work full time. So I
Yeah.
do some time lapses. Um, and then anything else I come up with, if I, go to a quilt show, I like to show, what I saw there and that sort of thing there. So yeah, the main staples is the live and the podcast, and then everything else is a nice little healthy bonus for everybody.
Oh yeah. 'Cause I only do like 3 drops a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I give away free patterns all week long, but free pattern Friday, for some reason, people love free pattern Friday. And I'm just
Mhm.
like, they do realize I give away free patterns every other day of the week, right? But hey, and it's been fun. Right now we're doing a solo long called Psychedelic Snowflake, and that has been very well received. It's just kind of nice, to have something that
Yes.
you've been working on for years. All of a sudden, everybody's yay! Oh, this is great. But yeah, so we've been doing that too, kind of a taking people out of their comfort zone, because there are people that jumped into that so long that never foundation paper piece before.
Oh,
And their
wow. Yeah.
blocks are beautiful. Those blocks are stunning. I was just quite like, wow, you guys look like you're pros already. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah. So what, so do you have like things that are up and coming in your channel coming up, or we get kind of a sneak peek about what could be coming up in the next couple of weeks or, couple of months?
Think we brushed on this a little earlier. I showed the produce section, which is
Yeah.
this is probably my main. This is probably going to be my main focal project for the next couple of months because there's like 14 different blocks. There's all different fruit. I'm working on a pear, maybe a strawberry next, and I'm just going to work my way down the list. I try and just do it one block a week or as
Yeah.
close to it as possible. So it doesn't look, because if you see the pattern up front, it's very overwhelming if you're not careful because you see all these tiny pieces and everything else. But if you break it down, so much easier. And then I also need to finish, catch up on my Alice in Wonderland that I showed a little earlier because I've done three of the blocks and they're currently on block 7. So I'm only 4 months behind on that. So you'll be seeing a lot of that. That's kind of my main focal points. And then we'll just, whatever else inspires me, I like seeing, I like seeing shiny stuff and going off down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, the rabbit hole. But it's good too to show people that it's doable in smaller chunks. Because most people, like you say, right, they see the pattern and they go, oh, good grief, I'll never be able to do that. But when you start breaking it down into smaller chunks, there was one other YouTuber there. She was doing a Dear Jane quilt, one block at a time. That was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Dear Jane is overwhelming and can be very overwhelming. And she broke it down into a very doable project. She's still working on it, but I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't put out content all the time. But I was just like, yeah, like wow, like she's actually making this very doable. I've got a
Yeah.
couple of things that are coming up. Like we started before we left Canada, we started filming Crumb Carnage, where I go through a bin of my crumbs and I sort my crumbs by color and I
Right.
just make something out of them to annihilate all of that color. And then I make the next week, we're going to hit the next color. But we did start and we started filming, but we had to move it back because of course we didn't have time to film all of Crumb Carnage. And
Yeah.
I'm being overrun by blue scraps. Blue scraps are, there's a lot of them. So we're going to do Blue Mondays where we work on blue and low volume blocks, right? So blue and white blocks, let's say. And you can make them any color you want, but I'm going to make them blue because I need to move out some blue.
Yeah.
Because
The Monday blues. I think
yeah,
that's fun.
Monday blues. Yeah, the Monday blues. You got to get that. So, Sean, we've been doing this now for a while, right? Because you've been doing this, what, 2 years or no?
Almost 2.5, I think. I started right around American Thanksgiving in 2022.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
almost here for 3 years. Now, what kind of vision do you have for your channel, let's say in 2 years?
that's a great question. I want my viewers to enjoy each and every video they come to. I mean, that's the answer I always give, and I wholeheartedly stand behind that. And I'm going to give that answer till the day that I say I'm done.
Yeah.
Because if it stops being fun and the people that enjoy it, there's no point in me being here. But where would I like to be in 2 years? I have numbers in my head where I'd like to be, but if I don't hit those numbers or get even close to it, that's okay. I'm not that stressed about it. I just want it to be more about the enjoyment and everything else there. Having said that, I would like to get some I'd like to get some patterns written out and maybe release some patterns and maybe do some sew alongs
Yeah.
and that sort of thing there. But I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time, 1 week at a time, and just seeing what I want to do that particular week or that particular month and that sort of thing there. I find that if I get too structured for too long, something's got to come up, whether you get ill or you have a better idea or something
Yeah.
like that, and it just messes things up. So
You
we'll
you
just see
and I
we'll just
are
see where the future takes us.
you and I are pretty much on the same wavelength there for different reasons. I'm retired. I'm retired. So I mean, if I became a full-time quilter, that I would be happy because that's what I kind of planned for my retirement. And I have a huge stash, so I could sew for for months and months and months and never see a quilt store.
too.
But yeah, it's about having fun. Am I having fun? Are the viewers having fun? Are they learning stuff? Are they, being able to share their, their knowledge or, that kind of thing? Now they've learned something new. I'm always so happy when somebody comments and goes, that's how it's done. Oh, yes, I finally got that. And it's like, yes, yes, that's
I
perfect.
know it's so neat, like when people say that, for them it might be something small, just saying like, thank you for so much for showing me this, or I learn a lot, or just that I enjoyed the video. But that means so much to us as content creators. So thank you for everyone that does that.
Yeah.
It means the absolute world.
Oh, it truly does, because I just like my heart to start. Oh, they
Hmm.
got through. They got something. They actually got something important out. Like that's to me, that's awesome. So now, deep dark secret. What is your favorite tool? What's
Well,
your
anyone
favorite tool?
now,
So
people that
like,
watch my Yeah, anybody that watches my channel for any amount of time is probably giggling right now because they know what my answer is going to be. And that is my good friend. Actually, got a new one the other day. Seam Ripper. Good old Jack. Yeah. And I actually bought one at because I wanted a stiletto. I actually got a brand
oh
new one
wow.
at the quilt show the other week. And it ended up actually being from a nice couple that lives in the city next to me. So it's a nice local business as well.
I saw
So
some of those at the Tucson Quilt Show, and I was so tempted to get one. I thought I have a perfectly good stitch ripper, and I have a perfectly good stiletto. But yes, my favorite tool, and people just like, yes, you need to know how to use this guy too, right? That's the other thing, right? So it
that
has to
was
be fine enough to get under those tiny stitches you do for foundation paper piecing.
oh for sure. And it was funny because I'm actually in the process of teaching one of our exchange students how to quilt. And he is doing a fantastic job with it. And he was making one of the Cotton Cuts gnomes, which is all pre-cut. I think it
Yeah.
was easier that way. And he got about three-quarters of the way through it and he made a mistake, which he made it that far without a mistake. I thought that was fantastic.
Yes.
And so I come along and I noticed he stopped sewing. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Because I took a small nap while he was working. And I saw him with a pair of scissors. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't need to be cutting anything. This is pre-cut. And he was trying to cut the stitches out. No. Here's Jack. I
Yes.
never showed him how to use, I didn't show him what it was or what it was used for. So yeah, if you ever teach someone new, show them where the seam ripper is and how to use it up front. So that way they
Yes.
don't try and make the same mistake he did.
Well, and they get if they don't know how to use the seam ripper, they're going to cut into or jab or stab themselves or whatever, and they're going to hurt themselves or rip the fabric, and then they throws in a corner and they never go back to it, and you lose the sew.
Yeah,
So it's
I
kind
just
of
didn't think about it.
yeah, like I mean, yeah, I guess yeah, we reach for it so often we don't because it's part of sewing. You're going to have that seam
Yeah,
ripper in your hand at some point.
I use it all the time. I'm just not afraid to admit it. Like
Our cat,
if you look at
our cat wants treats or something. We're not sure what he wants. I'm sorry if you can hear him. So it's yeah, stitch ripper is kind of like the eraser for fabric. It erases
hmm
that mistake, and then you scratch out all the little, the needle holes, and you're good to go again. So yeah, it's
Yep.
all good. So Sean, do you have any last words of encouragement for people, for people that are quilting?
I always tell people to do what makes you happy. I know a lot of people goes through like they lose their sojo and that sort of thing there. And I always encourage them, do what makes you happy. If you are focusing on a project and it's not bringing you joy at that time, set it aside or,
Yeah.
for a while and go to something else. If you want to work on something fun, work on something fun. This is your fun time. This is your hobby time to
Yep.
do what makes you feel happy. Now, if you have a quilt that you need to make for a baby or a wedding or something like that, sometimes you got to suffer through it and just do it.
Yeah.
But for the majority of the time, do what makes you happy and do not be afraid to reach out and ask someone for help with
Yeah.
different techniques. People reach out to me sometimes and say, hey, can you show me how you did this? And I'm more than happy to show them. I don't have the advantage of having a lot of sewists or quiltists around me. So I rely heavily on, YouTube and other platforms to learn. And if that's you, do the same thing. Reach out to your favorite content creator. Reach out to a friend or someone in your guild or someone in one of the Facebook groups
Oh, yeah.
and that sort of thing there. There's such a wealth of information, and the majority of people are just more than happy to help out. So do not be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Oh, yeah, and if you're thinking of that question, there's probably, five
Oh,
others
yeah.
that are
And
going,
there's probably others that aren't, there's probably others that are too scared to ask. So if, ask, especially in a Facebook, group or something similar, you're probably not just helping yourself. You're probably helping out more, more people are just aren't willing to ask.
yeah, one thing I noticed about my group there was somebody asked a question about a technique or, whatever. I'm always surprised at the number of people that'll write following, because they don't know the answer either, right? Or
Right.
they may have, like, yeah, I understand the question, but I'm not sure, what the question is.
Yeah.
Oh, my husband's playing music suddenly. And yeah. So my last word of encouragement would be try. Try to learn something new. Try to go out of your comfort zone. Try a new block. Try. Just try your
Yeah.
best. Don't, like, you try, and it's amazing what you're able to accomplish if you try. If you don't try, nothing happens, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean mine is kind of like that would be the word. Because there's lots of times there's challenges in people's lives, right? That when they're, well, try, just try.
Yeah.
And if it's bringing you joy, that's great. If not, well, maybe try something else.
Yeah. That's And one more thing I'd like to bring up now that we're thinking about it is don't don't worry if you make a mistake.
Oh,
Do not worry about perfection. Like we all make mistakes. I've been doing this a long time and I still pull out the seam ripper. That's why it's my favorite tool.
yeah.
Probably every week, if not more. So if you do not be worried, and don't stress about stuff being perfect. I don't, even those best in shows at these big quilt conventions and that sort of thing there's a mistake in there somewhere. It's just less mistakes than the next person.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even myself, I make mistakes, right? I mean, the problem is people are pointing them out. Oh, that's a mistake. No, it's not. Oh, please stop pointing them out.
Yeah, it's a it's a
Most
design
people don't
choice.
know. Yeah, most people don't wouldn't be able to pick it out. So yeah, stop pointing it out. It's like,
I mean, there's, the quilt behind me has a highly commended ribbon, and there's a lot of errors in that. I mean, I could point them out to you, but I'm not going to.
no, yeah, stop pointing them
You
out.
know, it
Yeah,
looks beautiful at the end of the day, it looks beautiful, and that's all that matters.
right. So have you got anything to add here, Sean?
Don't think so. I think we covered everything. If you haven't already come over and checked out the channel, come over and take a look. I mean, we try to keep it fun. We've always got something going on. My videos are short. I like to keep them, nice and compact so you're in and out, nice and quickly, all except for the lives, we're there for an hour and a half. But it's the whole
Yeah.
point of a live. But other than that, yeah, everything's 10 minutes or below. So come over and check it out. And if you're watching this on my channel and you haven't checked out Brenda, you are definitely missing out. You need to go over and check out her channel because she has a lot of fun stuff there. Her patterns are great. It's a great way to learn how to, use up your scraps, which is something I'm, always working on and doing pretty well, I think, as well. So definitely go out and check out her channel because, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been a big fan of hers for quite some time.
Well, thank you, Sean. That's so sweet of you to say so.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna say goodbye and good night. It's starting to rain again here in Tucson, and it's like, I don't know if you can hear it in our background, but it's like,
No.
again, so we're now up to 24 days of rain in Tucson. By the time we're filming this, it's like by the time we go home, it'll be a month of rain, I'm sure of it. So, but
Well,
that's okay. They need the rain here. They've been in a drought situation for quite a while, and they say the desert bloom will be amazing when
that sounds like it. Yeah.
uh, okay, you guys take care and have fun. Have a great week. Check out Sean on his channel, okay? All right,
Yep.
bye.
All right. See you later. Thanks for having. Well, I hope you enjoyed the sit and chat with Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I've been a great fan of hers for quite some time, and it was really neat to be able to sit down
and have a nice little chin wag with her. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing comments from my viewers. And hit that like button on the way out. I hope you'll have a great night. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next time.